Shut up, Smarks. Ring Ross Redux. No, I won't tap out. I won't tap out. All of you buzzwords suck. Just stop watching Raw. Stop watching Raw. WWE has announced another member of the organization being fired, but it wasn't a wrestler this time. Instead, it was veteran WWE music composer Jim Johnston himself, who had seen his career with the WWE span longer than any wrestler on the roster, losing his position. Theme Titan on Twitter, which is at @ThemeTitan_, a social media account that reports on Johnston and WWE music news, tweeted out on the 30th that Jim Johnston has been released by WWE. Johnston got his start with World Wrestling Entertainment back in 1985 when it was the World Wrestling Federation, and over his more than 30 years with the organization, he has created the most iconic entrance themes that fans have ever heard. Jim has been part of so much WWE history. To put it in some perspective, the man got his start with the WWE before The Undertaker had even started his WrestleMania streak. And speaking of The Undertaker, it was Johnston who composed the Dead Man's theme music, along with the music of Vince McMahon, Ultimate Warrior, Steve Austin, who we just heard, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He also composed the music for the movies Legendary, Knucklehead, and The Chaperone, all from WWE Studios, and wrote the score for the Hulk Hogan film No Holds Barred. Well, you can't win them all. You might not know his name, but there is no doubt, given the importance of the superstar's theme music, that if you have been a wrestling fan for more over the last 30 years, then Jim Johnston has had a major impact on your experience. That being said, since 2014, Johnston has ceded the reins of WWE Music Group to CFOS, or CFO $, I don't know how you pronounce it, and seen his role take on a secondary position from that point forward. The last theme song that Johnston created was the new music for Baron Corbin, Bring the Darkness, End of Days, featuring Tommy Vext. When asked if possibly the split with the WWE was mutual, and that maybe Jim was just ready to go after putting in over 3 decades with the company, Theme Titan responded very directly that it was definitely not the case. At this point, neither Johnston nor the WWE have officially commented on this release. And another Twitter account, Themers United. It is with great sadness that we can confirm that WWE has released composer Jim Johnston, deciding not to renew his contract that expired today, as of November 30th. This was a forced release, as Jim was very keen to keep working with the company. He had been tirelessly serving for 32 years. In further news, our source in New York confirmed that the removal of Jim from the company had been an ongoing wish of Neil Lawi, L-A-W-I, I guess it's Lawi, or Lawi, I don't know, John Alcastro, and Michael Lowry for some time. Jim still had influence on certain aspects of WWE's musical output, even though CFOS had been the main composers for Superstar entrance themes since 2012. John and Michael wanted to totally overhaul WWE's musical output and replace all Jim Johnston's creations with their own. Knowing Jim's departure was in the cards, they already started remaking his music, with Kane's theme being the first instance of this occurring. I would have thought it would have been Brock Lesnar's, but oh well. Therefore, you can expect all Jim's music to be made or replaced entirely in due course. Our contact, as in Themers United's contact, also confirmed Jim was the person who spearheaded the Uncaged series, which was a collection of unreleased wrestler theme songs that WWE put out on various online markets like iTunes. With Jim Johnston no longer working with WWE, the Uncaged series will no longer continue. Themers United was aware that Jim's release was imminent, so they attempted to try and show how beloved Jim was with their recent poll of the creation of this Twitter account. It appears, though, unfortunately, their efforts have been vain. So that's unfortunate when someone who's been with the company gets, I don't want to say disrespected, but just sort of, I guess, unfortunately, WWE has a "what have you done for me lately" sort of mentality. But, oh well. The Club Kayfabe Creative Community, bringing together creative people from all walks of life and giving them a platform to show off their talents. Podcasters, artists, cosplayers, authors. Check out all the information about the Club Kayfabe creative community at ckcconline.com. Another company that is actually moving a little bit ahead with current and previous employees, and probably with future employees too. Anthem Sports and Entertainment President Ed Nordholm noted in a recent interview that Anthem Media Group are reworking their talent contracts to allow anyone who leaves the company to continue to use their in-ring persona, even if it was created when they were part of the Impact Wrestling roster. Nordholm noted that the new talent agreements all incorporate language that allows talent to continue to use their known persona after they leave the company, and said that they're working with their legal team to amend existing agreements to extend this to all their current and future talent. You know, when you're working with your legal team, you go to your legal team and say, do it. And they say, okay then, and then they do it. You don't say you're working with your legal team if you don't want it to sound like you're deliberately dragging your feet. Maybe I'm just seeing the negative. I don't know. Maybe I should just be happy that there seems to be some seeds planted for a certain very, very popular character from Impact Wrestling coming to WWE, and maybe I should just live for the moment. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerberology TV. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. It's well known that by now that Leo Rush received a lot of backlash from WWE superstars and officials after his tweet about Tennille Dashwood, formerly known as Emma, being released by the company. Rush has removed references to McMahonopoulos from his social media and changed his hometown from Orlando, Florida, back to Baltimore, Maryland. It should be noted that his profile on WWE.com is still up. Sources are reporting that as of Thursday morning, Rush is still under contract, and he's since commented via his Twitter account that he's apparently in reflection.
This is a great Cat Guitar Slamming Wrestling News Radio on Ring Rust, CHMR 93.5 FM.
Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has announced he'll be appearing on the cover of Entertainment Weekly next week. And you can check that out via his Twitter account, @The Rock, and find out more about that, and have yourself a grand old guffaw. At him, with him, whatever you choose to think, and
Then I could go on, and they get me excited.
Marge, it takes two to lie, one to lie, and one to listen.
What does that mean?
Uh-oh, moving! Ow, pointy! You slimy.
Go!
Woohoo! Go up!
you're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerberology TV. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. As of this writing, Kane versus Braun Strowman, as well as Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe, are the only two matches that are being rumored for the upcoming Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar is expected to be a part of the show, but it's possible that the WWE Universal Championship won't be on the line, or possibly even that he won't be champion at the time. The Royal Rumble takes place on Sunday, January 28th, in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, at the Wells Fargo Center, and will air on the WWE Network and some traditional pay-per-view outlets. Both Raw and SmackDown brands will be represented, and they're leaving out one of their old school, most important demographics, or one of their brands, especially since they're in Philadelphia. Maybe confirmed CM Punk returning to Raw. No, that's not it. Maybe since I've been hearing rumblings that Steve Corino is now going to be working with WWE, and they're in Philadelphia. Maybe we'll see more of the King of Old School. You are listening to Ring Rust Redux on Gerberology TV. Impact Wrestling will be taping at Universal Studios Orlando in Florida, January 10th through 15th. The next tapings after January are slated to be March 2018 and are currently scheduled for Canada. Impact will also be taping material for upcoming episodes of their TV show at this Sunday's Border City Wrestling Motown Showdown event at the Diamondback Saloon in Belleville, Michigan. Impact Global Champion Eli Drake will be taking on Alberto El Patron, and Johnny Impact has been announced for the show. So no word yet on whether or not the title's on the line or if it's just a triple threat match, but let's wait and see, shall we? It's that time of year again. Time to get in your votes for the Ring Rust Year-End Top 50 Countdown, where I run down my favorite and your favorite wrestling-related songs and wrestling-influenced themes from 50 all the way to number 1. Just like CHMR's Ring Rust on Facebook, and post your vote in the appropriate thread. Check it out on the last Friday of this year and the first Friday of next year. This week's Macho Fact. Randy Savage can clap with one hand. And the Macho Man blew up the Death Star with a top rope elbow drop. But that was a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni, and subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. WWE United Kingdom Champion Bruiserweight Pete Dunne scheduled to face recently released former WWE Cruiserweight Championship challenger Austin Aries on January 21st for Destiny Wrestling in Toronto, Ontario. Dunne's also the Destiny World Champion and will be defending that title on that night as well. Presumably, unless he's wrestling 2 matches against Austin Aries. So, good luck to both men. You know me, though. I call in the favor of the champion defending, so congratulations in advance, Bruiserweight. You're listening to Ring Rust Redux on Jabronology TV. Now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. Chris Jericho has launched his own official YouTube channel, and you can pop on over to subscribe to it at just, just search Chris Jericho on YouTube, and there it is. So,
That's it. The healing rays of the sun in his pants.
Ha ha ha! Cookies on dowels.
Like me on Facebook, tinyurl.com/ringrust. Follow me on Twitter @MarkJabroni, and subscribe to Jabronology TV, youtube.com/fanboymarkjabroni. now part of the Club Kayfabe creative community. As seen at the NXT TakeOver War Games in Houston, Texas, at the Houston Toyota Center on the WWE Network, Andrade Cien Almas defeated Drew McIntyre to win the NXT Championship. McIntyre suffered a torn left bicep during the match, which happened in the final moments of the match, where he was holding onto the top rope as Almas hit him with a DDT. In an update, Drew's already rehabbing the injury, and he's expected to be out of action until early April 2018. It's possible that he returns for the TakeOver event during WrestleMania 34 weekend in New Orleans, Louisiana. The former WWE Intercontinental and TNA World Heavyweight Champion verified the bad news via his Twitter account. So, unfortunately, we'll be doing without one Mr. McIntyre for a little while, and, man, talk about your broken dreams, huh? That's it for another show, kiddies. Check me out on Facebook, where you can keep track of all the news that's right on the mark, from around ringside to the latest concerts. See you at the shows. Later days.